we're doing in the near future. We're building our next vehicle to send American astronauts into space. It's called the Orion Multi-Purpose Crew Vehicle. And I'll talk to you all about the systems that we're working on right now and the upcoming tests in the years to come. We do have other training facilities around site. In fact, we've got a large pool where we actually help those astronauts train for their mission. It's called the Neutral Buoyancy Laboratory. And you guys are so lucky. Look at this. We've got some live training going on right now. Now, can you guys see the astronauts underneath the water? Yeah. All right, wonderful. Now, why do you think we've got the astronauts in a big swimming pool? How would that help?
Tucker? That would send low gravity.
Ooh, very good. Yeah, an environment called microgravity. Now, gravity still exists. The Earth is pulling on us all the time, even when we're traveling in space. But we're actually going so fast around the Earth that we're actually falling around the Earth. Now, if you guys have ever been on a roller coaster, that feeling you get when you're going down the roller coaster, that's actually what the astronauts feel the entire time because they're falling around the Earth right now.
Jordan?
39.
You think 9? He thinks 9.
39.
Oh, 39.
Oh, 39. Actually, I wish we had that many people up in space, but unfortunately, the vehicles that carry us up there can't hold that many people. This is the Space Shuttle control room, but we're actually converting it into the Orion Control Center because we're no longer flying space shuttles, so it's going to be the next human spaceflight vehicle, Orion, and we're going to control missions right out there. Building and testing different parts of Orion right now, and we're working hard to get ready for an unmanned test next year. Hopefully in September of 2014, we'll have our first unmanned mission of the Orion spacecraft. It takes a lot of thrust to get astronauts and heavy payloads up into space. Now this new vehicle, since it's going to leave low Earth orbit, it's got to handle some extreme environments like temperatures and pressures and radiation. So we're building this vehicle right now to withstand 6,000 degrees as this vehicle comes back and lands on the Earth. So it's got to come through the atmosphere. It's going to be very, very hot when it actually does that. And it's also going to travel very fast. The Orion's going to travel about 27,000 miles per hour. And that's much faster than actually the space station or the space shuttle travel. It's like 45 times faster than a commercial airline. I'll show you how much power is needed to actually control the launch abort system and how it's actually going to help those astronauts. If you had to use the launch abort motor energy, it can be converted into electrical power, and it could run 13,000 houses just from that. Here is the crew module. Now we actually showed you a cutaway view so you can see where everything is inside this module. We've got oxygen for the crew members. We've got thruster power to control the jets to maneuver it around. We're going to have the seats inside and the control panels either on the wall or on the ceiling. And all the different compartments hold all the supplies are going to be around the bottom portion. The service module and even the full rocket itself. And we're building it right now. Now what we're gearing up for are future missions to leave low Earth orbit. Now I've got a really cool video of what it's going to be like when we actually launch this vehicle out into space. Because no longer are we going to stay in low Earth orbit. We're going to journey away from our home planet. Now we're going to need millions of pounds of thrust to get all those vehicles up into space. As you can see, they operate in different stages. After 2.5 minutes, the solid rocket boosters separate. Then later, once we've achieved orbit, we can do main engine cutoff and separate the rocket from the vehicle. We no longer need the launch abort system, so that separates too. And then we've just got the multi-purpose crew vehicle by itself. Now this is a really cool, exciting thing. We're going to be leaving low Earth orbit, not just staying a couple hundred miles above the surface. So that system is actually going to separate and launch us or propel us away from the Earth itself. Now we've got lots of fun destinations we're going to go to. We're going to be working working on maybe going back to the moon, going on to Mars, or even a near-Earth asteroid. Oh, question up front?
How are you gonna get back on the moon or some
Oh,
other place?
I'll show you in just a little bit. This vehicle has thrusters on it, and yes, that's very important. We got to get our astronauts back to Earth. Space is a very extreme environment. There's no air to breathe. There's no pressure. It's a vacuum. There's radiation from the sun, so we can protect our astronauts. As you can see, those thrusters can maneuver the spacecraft around. And look at that. That's the crew module, and that's the only part that actually returns home. So we fire our thrusters, we calculate a perfect orbit around the Earth, and then this is how we come back through the atmosphere. We're going to use parachutes to actually slow the vehicle down, very similar to what we did with the Apollo program. However, our vehicle is much bigger and much heavier, so we need a lot more parachutes, or stronger parachutes, than we used during the Apollo program. Now we're going to launch from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida, but they're going to land off the coast of California. Now we can test when it drops in the water. There's this really cool facility at the Langley Research Center, and they actually take a model of the Orion and drop it in the water. We've got different types of tests, and we put it at different angles, and this is what this little facility looks like. So we're going to see in just a second what it's going to be like to simulate how the vehicle is going to come in and land in the water. So we do lots of different angles. We want to make sure that that vehicle will be able to right itself, that the astronauts will be able to get out safely, and everything will go well. So here in a second, we're going to show you what it actually looks like, and I'll show you different angles so you can really get an idea. Wow, there you go. As you can see, it makes a very, very big splash. As you can see, it came, even though it was at a very sharp angle, it became upright. Here's another angle. How cool would it be to be this is your job? You get to go out and test spacecraft on how they're going to return to Earth and land. Better than a water park, right? Here we go.
What speed are you coming in at?
Well, when it travels in space, it's about 27,000 miles per hour. We slow down to about 200 miles per hour once it comes underneath the atmosphere, and it actually lands at about anywhere from 20 to 35 miles per hour.
Would the astronauts be able to get up to there to get to safety?
Oh, to like get into the spacecraft in order to lift off?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we actually have a really neat launch system that helps them get up there. And I'm going to go try to find that picture for you guys. Here we go. This is what it looks like at the Kennedy Space Center when we build the launch vehicle. And this is called the launch tower. Now there's an elevator right here, and it can actually take the astronauts all the way up. And there's an area called the White Room where they prep to get in. They put on their spacesuits, and then they actually get to walk down this little hallway. And right at the end, it actually connects. We actually have some live views from space. We've got, let's see who is it? It looks like Fyodor Yurchikhin, a Russian cosmonaut, and Karen Nyberg, one of the American astronauts. Now, don't you just love her hair in microgravity? Look at it, it's floating all up in the air. Gravity's not pulling it down. It's really fun when astronauts with long hair go up in space. It's floating everywhere.
Is the Orion bigger than Saturn V?
Oh, actually, let me see if I've got a comparison of the different types of rockets so that you can see how big they actually are. All right, here we go. All right, here are different types of rockets. Our first flight next year is going to be on a modified Delta IV heavy lift vehicle, and this is how big it is. As you can see, it's bigger than the space shuttle, but not as big as the big Saturn V that we used to launch the astronauts Now, once we start launching humans on the new space launch system, they can be as big as this one, and then look at this gigantic one, the 130T. That one is actually going to be bigger than the Saturn V.
How long did it take to build the International Space Station?
How long did it take to build the NASA spacesuit?
No, the International Space Station.
Oh, the space station. Oh, okay, thanks. Well, our first piece went up in 1998, and we're actually still working on it right now.
Do they actually eat astronauts up
Do they? What type of? Are you talking about the food? What do they actually eat when they're up in space?
there? Yeah.
Okay. Well, they eat lots of things. Some of the same things that you guys do. Who likes macaroni and cheese? Oh yeah, I love it. Well, guess what? The astronauts like macaroni and cheese too. It's just that the food that they actually eat is prepared a little bit differently. And I actually do have some space food right here. We've got